Hello and welcome to MITV Primetime News. I am Teresa Adeyemi. President Bola Tinubu has charged his cabinet members to ensure that the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians are achieved in line with his administration's renewed hope agenda. The president made the admonition on Friday at the end of the three-day retreat for ministers, permanent secretary, and other presidential aides held at the presidential villa Abuja. President Tinubu also urged his ministers to put aside personal ambitions and focus on the progress and development of the country. He averted that his administration will work together in order to change the absmal narrative of the country, which has for ages delayed development. President Tinubu, while urging cabinet members to see beyond their present positions, charged them to pledge their commitment towards bringing about economic prosperity of the nation and as well making a success of the performance bond. The Special Advisor on Policy and Coordination to the President, Adiza Bala Usman, while giving overview of the delivery mechanism of the renewed hope agenda and key expectation from the ministers and government aides, said the review of the performance delivery will be done periodically.
Global, I think, phenomenon that has been on in the last, I would say, 10 years, where governments have realized that they need to create a unit that will debottleneck and track priorities of the administration. So this is something that was pioneered by the Prime Minister of the UK, Tony Blair, where he created that result delivery unit within his office. So over the years, governments have realized the value and it has taken a life of its own. And in Nigeria, we started it. The last administration had a central coordination and delivery unit, and now we're giving it more strength. We're giving it the necessary political backing that is required to enable it achieve its mandate. Well, what is important is that there's a consequence management framework attached to performance delivery. Those consequent framework are what determines what it is, the actions that the president would take in the event that a minister, head of agency is unable to meet up their deliverable. The key performance indicators, we have the first...
Ministers and ministries. So I would say on a whole, it's been eye-opening. For me, I don't have any problem with the minister's designation. I believe whether you're a minister or minister of state, you are basically a minister. And in any case, it all depends on your capacity to handle it very well. I'm sure everybody
that has resonated with this, and this is something which our ministry is always in the leadership and forefront of emphasizing. Yesterday, in my comment, I said three things in the panel discussion. First, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during the campaigns, have repeatedly emphasized the urgency to tackle security. And not surprisingly, 30% of the supplementary budget is for the defense sector. Equally, he has spoken about the need to support vulnerable populace and keep promises. Equally,
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has implored the business community in the country to make innovation as their bedrock as to ensure rapid economic development and creation of expected jobs for the youth. President Tinubu made the call while declaring open the 37th edition of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry (LCCI) International Trade Fair on Friday. The president, who was represented by the managing director Tafawa Balewa Square, Lucia Shitu, called on investors to see Nigeria as a new destination to grow their businesses. In his remark, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu remains committed to providing a friendly and conducive business environment for the organized private sector and other stakeholders through continuous engagement in the implementation of policies, regulations, and projects as they impact business prosperity of the state. The governor, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Folashade Ambrose Medebim, affirmed that his administration will continue to protect and promote the interests of investors and businesses in the state. The LCCI president, Asiwaju Michael Olawale Cole, was speaking on the theme for the 10-day trade fair, Navigating Economic Challenges, Forging a Path to Prosperity. Said it reflects the reality business community is facing, and in a different state underscores the determination of the Nigerian business community to overcome as many hurdles of existence, survival, and growth. He said it is to acknowledge the difficulties business community face while inspiring business owners to seek solutions, embrace new opportunities, and develop innovative.
Value creation is the cornerstone of sustainable growth. It is not merely about profit margins, but about the positive impact we leave on our communities, our nation, and the world. As we embark on this journey together, let us all be reminded of the immense responsibility that comes with our roles as custodians of the economic prosperity.
To effectively tackle various challenges confronting businesses such as inadequate infrastructure, inadequate power, inadequate security, and others. So for us, we see the challenges as great opportunities for further investment, and our administration is not only working assiduously to change the narrative, we are also ready to work with willing investors to expand the infrastructure for the benefit of our businesses in particular and in our state and nation in general.
In another development, the presidency on Friday said France will return $150 million looted by former Nigerian military leader General Sani Abacha. In a statement, the special advisor to the president of media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, said President Bola Tinubu commended the European country for the decision. Receiving the Minister of Europe and Foreign Affairs of France, Catherine Colonna, the highly elated president hailed the strengthening of bilateral relations between Nigeria and France, noting that this progress followed his visit to Paris after his inauguration. While emphasizing the need to reinforce collaboration on both political and economic fronts, the president welcomed the growing cooperation between the two countries in areas of shared interest such as climate change, economic integration, education, and culture. Tinubu also acknowledged the signing of a £100 million agreement between Nigeria and France to support the IDICE program, a federal government initiative to promote investment. The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Works, wished to inform the motoring public that government has perfected plans to carry out comprehensive repairs of 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos. In view of the above, the monitoring public are hereby notified that the repair works will begin with the ramps connecting Oworoshoki to Adekunle and Lagos Island Adeniji-Adele to Adekunle simultaneously. In a statement, the Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Engineer Olukorede Keshe, said the two ramps mentioned above will be closed to traffic by 7 a.m. on Monday, 6 November 2023, for 5 weeks. She advised motorists to cooperate with the traffic management officials by obeying and observing all diversions as directed, are encouraged to use the alternative routes as attached. The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC has issued a 5-day ultimatum for the redeployment of the Commissioner of Police in Imo State following the attack on the NLC President Joe Ajaero in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on Thursday. The organized labor made this call in a press briefing in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, on Friday. They also demanded the arrest and prosecution of the special advisor to the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, on special duties, threatening to embark on a nationwide industrial action if their demands are not carried out. The union leaders are accusing the Imo State government as well as the police for being responsible for the attack on the NLC leader.
Comrade Jero was not the only one beaten and arrested by the police, but he was the major target. Thus received the most bestial and repressive treatment. He was stripped of his dignity as a human being and as a president of this Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC. He was also stripped of his personal items, including the phones, money, and other electronic gadgets. His vehicle was smashed and tires ripped off. Others who were also with him were all beaten by the police, included workers. The TVC crew, who were arrested and detained, they had their cameras seized for filming and being in possession of evidence the police would not want the whole world.
Workers and journalists subjected to his inhuman treatment by the police, and the Hope Uzodinma's group be treated by the state and all the properties lost be restored immediately. All outstanding industrial relations issues, as previously agreed in the Imo government, be implemented immediately. We further resolve that in the event the government failed to comply with any or all the conditions above stated, NLC, TUC, and their affiliates will no longer guarantee industrial peace and harmony in Nigeria.
Here in Lagos, the state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has inaugurated the Lagos International Financial Center Council, LIFC, symbolizing his administration's commitment to making the state a global financial hub. The governor at the press briefing also signed an executive order 3 to inaugurate the council. The groundbreaking collaboration between Lagos State and Enterprise NGR is built on their shared goal of positioning Lagos as Africa's premier financial. The governor, who is also the chairman of the council, said the initiative in collaboration with Enterprise NGR, an independent-led group in positioning Lagos in the global scene, would attract foreign investment. He said the objective was to aim at working collaboratively to providing financial services, drive investment structure, creating a conducive environment to ensure transformation, among others, while aligning with the federal government on its economic recovery plans. The governor also said his administration had been proactive in collaborating to catalyze infrastructure development, and it will be the first African city that will be participating in the Lord Mayor's show in the United Kingdom to attract foreign investors to the state. The co-chairman of the newly inaugurated council, Agboje AIG Imukwede, said the collaboration is an innovation that will transform Lagos and Nigeria into a financial powerhouse.
The Council will be a beacon of achievements in our relentless pursuit of making Lagos Africa's premier financial center. Lagos, with its rich cultural diversity, commitment to fostering enterprise, innovation, and creativity, a well-established financial sector, and a strategic initiative like the LIFC Council, stands as a unique and attractive destination for foreign capital. The international recognition we receive is not merely a reflection of our economic powers, but also a celebration of the indomitable spirit of Lagos.
Around the rule of law, security, infrastructure, the talent available, and so on. And very, very important, as we are beginning to learn, as we do this technical work of an international financial center, things that you take for granted, culture, entertainment, tourism, those are very important things in the minds of the investor. So I think that the main job of Lagos State and the Council is working on the environment.
Financial center. And in so doing, attract global investments, promote financial innovation, and spur economic growth in Lagos State. The LIFC Council wants to create a conducive business environment that investors will thrive in and strengthen the financial and professional services sector.
Still in Lagos, the State Building Control Agency has expressed its readiness to demolish illegal structures at Ugombo, a Tiosa area of Lagos Island. The agency's general manager, Gbolahon Okewa, briefing journalists on the development, says the structures built in government land lack necessary building plan permit. Gbolahon laments land grabbing menace that predated the arrival of most of today's landowners in the state, which it describes as a major coastland dispute issues. It further advised residents to conduct necessary documentation, finding and permit before purchasing or construction. Oke said the measures become necessary in a bid to sanitize and propel compliance and the building industry in compliance with the state building regulations.
Law says that if you want to buy a land, you have what we call the search. You have the agents that you mean that you need a land. And for you to buy a land before putting your money down, there are some search that you need to do which is meant to be done by legal people that are doing the agreement. And you that you now got the land without any papers, without anything, you just decide to build on it. And that is why we don't have good infrastructure in those areas, because the place is not well laid out. State building control is not going to take an exception for anybody. If you must buy land, go and do the due diligence. Go and do the search. Get the right professionals, lawyers, to look.
To judicial matters, Justice M.M. Okeke of the Federal High Court in Ibadan has ordered that the two suspects be remanded in prison after they were arraigned for assaulting custom officers. The suspects were accused of shooting a custom officer. The incident occurred at Takpa town in the Ibarakwa zone of Oyo State, where the accused individuals are alleged to have assaulted customs officers during a routine inspection. The case has been adjourned on the 24th and 25th of January 2024 as counsel for the two defendants applied for their bail.
Before the 24th and the 25th, because if you were in the court, if you listen, the court was saying that if the papers are ready, they can come before the time, so that the application could be taken. So we are coming to argue it, that it should not be granted bail. But after the argument, the decision is for the court, whether to grant or not. We have to come, I think, 24th and the 25th of January to start the trial. So we are okay with it. They cannot decide for the court. They have made their application that they should be granted bail. And we have also filed our counter affidavit opposing the bill. Because in our own belief, we believe they should not be granted bail. And we have stated our reasons in our own counter affidavit before the court. So on the dates, the application will come up, most likely before the 24th and the 25th.
Away from judicial matters, two suspected Boko Haram terrorists have been arrested by troops of the Nigerian Army and the Department of State Services DSS in Gazawa Legal Government Area of Kano State. The arrest followed a raid by security operatives in the early hours of Friday on the terrorist hideout. Confirming the arrest in a statement, the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, said troops of 3 Brigade Nigerian Army in close cooperation with DSS operatives conducted a well-coordinated raid operation, adding that the suspects were believed to be planning a major operation in Kano. During the operation, the joint troops of the Nigerian Army and the DSS recovered 5 AK-47 rifles, 5 AK-47 rifle magazines, 1 rocket-propelled gun RPG, 5 RPG bombs, 6 hand grenades, 5 pairs of desert camouflage uniforms, 10 pairs of magazine pouches, and some improvised explosive device, IED making materials. Reiterating Army's commitment to ridding the nation of security challenges, Nwachukwu said the operation is a testament to interagency collaboration. And that's all from the local scene. We go on a quick break to bring you foreign stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to Foreign Stories. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Friday said Israel must protect civilians in its bombardment of Gaza as it returned formal talks with Israel's leaders while the country's armed forces press a ground offensive in the Hamas control strip. Blinken is in the region for the second time in less than a month as Washington has sought to balance support for Israel over the deadly act. Blinken reiterated that Israel has a right to do everything possible to ensure that this October 7 attack can never happen again. Blinken also warned Hezbollah to stay out of the conflict.
President Biden has consistently stressed the need for Israel to operate according to international humanitarian law. I also emphasize that the protection of civilians must take place not just in Gaza, but also in the West Bank, where incitement and extremist violence against Palestinians must be stopped and perpetrators held accountable. Third, we need to substantially and immediately increase the sustained flow of humanitarian assistance into Gaza and getting American citizens and other foreign nationals out of Gaza. Since we reached agreement with Israel, Egypt, and the United Nations 2 weeks ago on mechanisms to enable humanitarian aid to begin reaching civilians in need, we have scaled up deliveries. We've gone from 0 to now over 100 trucks going into Gaza through the Rafah crossing every day.
Meanwhile, Lebanon's militant Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said Friday that his powerful militia is already engaged in unprecedented cross-border fighting with Israel along the Lebanon-Israel border and threatening of further escalation as the Israel-Hamas war nears the one-month mark. In the televised remarks, Nasrallah's first since the beginning of the war sparked by the Palestinian militant deadly October 7 incursion into southern Israel, he stopped short of announcing that his Lebanese militia would fully enter the war, a move that would have devastating consequences for both Lebanon and Israel. The United States, Israel's strongest backer, has warned Hezbollah and his patron Iran against entering the fray and has sent warships to the Mediterranean, a move that Nasrallah said will not scare them. And up next is Sports Stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now talking sports. Manchester United manager Eric Ten Hag has insisted he's not thinking about transfers despite United poor start to the season, losing 8 of their first 15 matches in all competitions, while they are already 8 points off the top 4 in the Premier League. Speaking ahead of Saturday lunchtime trip to Fulham, Ten Hag, who guided the side to third last season, along with a Carabao Cup triumph, reaffirmed his faith in his team. Ten Hag's comment came after reports broke that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has pledged to invest $300 million to improve Manchester United aging infrastructure as they prepare to take a 25% stake in the club. Still talking sport, the Football Association are now investigating whether Sandro Tonali broke betting rules after his £52 million move to Newcastle in July, meaning he could be hit with another ban. Report says the FA are looking into the possibility that the midfielder, who has admitted to being a gambling addict, continue to bet on football while under their jurisdiction. If so, he could be subject to further sanction. Tonali is currently suspended for 10 months for illegal gambling activity in Italy, although he can train with Newcastle. And finally, talking tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic is the last of the top 4 seeds, standing at the Paris Masters as a battle pass on seeded Dutchman Talon reached for 6-7-6, 7-2, 6-4. It was not the written victory Djokovic enjoyed in his return to action a day earlier against Thomas Edberg as he recovered from a set down to eventually win in 2 hours, 39 minutes. The Sep took an early break in the fourth set, but surprisingly cracked at 4-2 as his opponent broke back and then went on to win 4 consecutive games to claim the opener 6-4. And that's it on the Primetime News tonight. Many thanks for watching. I am Teresa Adeyemi. Do have a great night. Good night.